What's up, you guys? CA Life back with episode 12. We're doing reviewing Maximum Influence by Kurt Mortensen. We've been going through this book for about 12 weeks, so this week is week 12. We're on chapter 12, um, The Law of Contrast. I am CA the Life, author of The Life, the book that gives you some game as far as dating and how to increase your effectiveness in dating. Anyway, the law of contrast, you guys, it says the law of contrast explains how we are affected when we are introduced to two different alternatives or options in succession. How we are affected when introduced to two different alternatives or options in succession. We know that contrasting two alternatives can distort or amplify our perceptions of price, time, or effort. All right, so basically, this chapter is going to tell you how to compare things in order to get your way, and we're going to get into it. All right, so there's different types of contrasts that you can use, you guys, and the first one that they talk about in chapter 12 is sweetening the pot or tripling the value. Sweetening the pot is a technique often used by marketers and or infomercials to make the deal appear sweeter or valued more than it actually is. That is, making prospects believe they are getting an exceptionally good deal. So in this aspect of sweetening the pot, it's talking about adding incentives, adding bonuses, adding things to really get your prospect going. So in this channel, we're talking about dating and how to be more effective and persuasive and influential in dating. So think about it, you guys. When you're out there dating and trying to have favor, how can you sweeten the pot? How can you triple the value, right? So that may be different bonuses, different alternatives, painting the right pictures, things of this nature. All right, so adding on things that are going to make you seem dope or doper than you already are. Adding on things that's going to be a game changer and make people want to experience those things. All right. So it asks the questions: what can you add on as an incentive? What can you give as a bonus? What do you have that will add value to yourself? That's sweetening the pot. So you can think about that. The next technique is called reducing it to the ridiculous. Reducing it to the ridiculous. Okay. This technique involves paring down your request to something that seems manageable, easier to comprehend, or easier to monetize. The example in the book is using the example of a life insurance policy. They started with saying, hey, buy this $500,000 life insurance policy. And the person wanted a $250,000 life insurance policy. And they're saying, hey, for only 50 cents more a day, you can get the $500,000 life insurance policy. Now, how can you apply that to dating? Well, let's think about it. Maybe you want to go somewhere that's a little more expensive than where they want to go, right? And you have to break it down. Hey, for only a couple more dollars a day, we can go do this dope thing right here, instead of doing this mediocre thing that you want to do. I don't know if that's going to work, but you could try it. The next technique is called door in the face. And it says door in the face is one of the most common techniques for implementing the law of contrast. Basically, an initially large and almost unreasonable request is made, likely to be declined. Hence, the door is slammed in your face. And then you bump it down to something very reasonable on purpose. You know what I mean? So it's a little different from reducing it to the ridiculous. It's kind of the reverse of that. So door in the face could be something crazy like, hey, I need you to, buy this flight for me or something. You know what I'm saying? And then obviously a flight, goddamn, what do you mean? And then you could bump it down to like, I know. Well, how about this this bottle of cologne or something? Bumping it down to the ridiculous. Anyway, the whole basis of it is, and it may take some strategy or some thinking before you implement this, but the basis is to start with just a crazy request, already knowing that the person who you're asking is going to be like, Oh, hell no. And then you bump the request down to the reasonable request that you were going to ask for anyway. Influential, persuasive, because the law of contrast is going to make that smaller item look way more better than that original huge request. The next technique is called the comparison effect, taking their temperature. It says the last form of contrast is the more general comparison effect. This is closely related to the door in the face technique, except that instead of presenting an outrageous request up front, the persuader presents prospects with an undesirable form of what they are looking for. Then, when the good item is presented, the prospects take that a lot faster. Where you would use this comparison effect is you might say, hey, let's go out to McDonald's and do it up, do it real big. And the person is looking at you crazy, like, really, McDonald's? And then you could be like, you know what? How about make it even better? How about we go to Black Angus? Oh, yeah, that sounds way better than McDonald's. So that's the taking their temperature. That's the comparison effect. So you made Black Angus seem very dope because you presented it after you presented McDonald's. And you can see how that may work, you guys, right? It's just like saying, hey, I was thinking about getting you this watch from TG's or Ross. In comparison, you might like, you know what? How about we just go to Macy's and get the watch? Oh, wow. Now that sounds a lot doper, right? That's the comparison effect, you guys, taking their temperature. The last part of the chapter is talking about how to use the law of contrast. It says, given all the examples in this chapter, you can guess the steps to take when employing this law, but let's simplify the process by looking at a few elements of the law of contrast. And the first thing they talk about is starting high. It says, make your initial request really big, not so high that it is totally unrealistic, but big enough that you know you will get a no. Then follow this initial request with smaller offers that will bring about the result you desired all along. Strategic. It's strategic. The second is timing. It says, for contrast to be effective, the two scenarios, options, or offers must be presented one right after the other. One right after the other. McDonald's, Black Angus, right? Ross, Macy's. Has to be presented right after the other. Timing, you guys. And then the other one is situation. It says, the situation applies to all the laws of persuasion. It certainly applies to the law of contrast. You have to think about your situation before you can choose which method to use and to what degree to implement the law. Okay, you guys? So you have to be mindful, right? This is chess, not checkers, you guys, in this game of persuasion and influence. You have to be strategic. You have to use your mind. You have to think. You have to mind play a little bit, or else these different laws and strategies will not work. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode, episode 12, The Law of Contrast. All right, I am C.A. The Life, author of The Life. I hope you have a good day. I hope you found this useful. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Peace.